Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Advanced Bass Fishing, and appreciate you guys swinging by the channel to hang out with me a little bit for the video. And guys, today we're going to be talking about the difference between using a tandem bladed spinnerbait with two blades on it and a single spin here. Each one of them has an application sort of unique to themselves, and I sort of want to go over the situation where I use a single spin versus a tandem, because I use them both depending upon different situations. So we're going to get into that in today's video. And also guys, we'll be talking about that Megabass SD3 spinnerbait. Guys, I absolutely love this. I just think it's the finest spinnerbait you can buy. I'll put this in my Tackle Warehouse link in the description of this video if you guys would like to try one out. But it's got a nano-coated hook on it, you know, just super great components, super realistic fish-looking head, hand-tied skirt. It's got a great keeper on it, just a super high-quality spinnerbait. And also, guys, real quick, anybody interested in booking an on-the-water lesson with me for this fall, you can do that by going to my Facebook page, Randy Blaukat Professional Angler, and shoot me a private message. I do a lot of jerkbait lessons coming up in the month of November and December if you guys are interested in that, so appreciate it. Okay, guys, both of these have been around a long time. You know, tandem spins and singles have been around forever. And let's talk about, you know, when you want to use both and what the situation is with that. Okay, a couple different things here. Now, it depends on if you're using a willow leaf blade or an Indiana or a Colorado, but a tandem spin will do two things that a single spin doesn't. Number one, a tandem spin provides more lift on the bait. So therefore, you can keep it higher in the water column on a lower speed. It just actually just lifts the bait up a little bit with that. And second with that, it provides more flash, because when you have two blades flashing, it creates a different look than a single spin. More flash and more lift are the two primary things with that. And if you use like a Colorado or Indiana, you know, with that, it can also increase vibration, but that's the primary differences with that. Whereas the single spin here, you know, you still have flash with it, but you have, you know, considerably less flash, and a single spin will not lift as high unless you put a really big blade on it. And that's another thing about lift on a spinnerbait. Lift on a spinnerbait is all a matter of the size of head you're using versus the size of blade you're using. The lighter the head, the bigger the blade, the more it's going to lift. The smaller the head, the smaller the blade, the more it's not going to lift. So that's primary consideration for that. Therefore, a couple different situations here when I use both. Now, the time that I use a single spin a lot of times is when I'm reeling the bait a little bit faster. A lot of times, since there's less drag on it, you can fish a single spin faster through the water column. So if you're burning a spinnerbait or waking a spinnerbait, and if you're not familiar with that term, burning or waking a spinnerbait is keeping the spinnerbait just right underneath the surface to where the blades create a little bit of a like a water disturbance underneath there. That's called waking a spinnerbait. Single spins are really good for that, simply because they you know, are easier to reel at a faster pace. And then the other time that I use a single spin is for slow rolling with a heavier spinnerbait. So sometimes I'll put like a 3/4 ounce head on with like a number 6 willow leaf or something like that. I'll slow roll it over deeper grass beds, slow roll it off of steep banks. Sometimes a slow rolled spinnerbait, on a single spin, you can control it a little bit more. And then finally on a single spin, I don't know what it is about it, guys, but a single spin will outfish a tandem at night. If you do any night fishing, like a single spin Colorado blade is the only way to go at night. So those are the situations with that. Now, most people use a tandem spin. I mean, because this is what's available at most retail tackle stores. If you go to most retail tackle stores, you don't see many single spins. It's all pretty much tandem. So that's one of the reasons they do it. And a tandem spin is very versatile, and it's very user-friendly. Tandem spin will work in about any situation with that. So for most situations, I'm going to use a tandem most of the time. I guess out of the entire season, as far as my spinnerbait fishing, I probably fish a tandem spin 75% of the time, and I fish a single spin 25% of the time in more specific situations. But tandem spin is just a good all-around setup. It's good if you're fishing, you know, shallow cover, like you're fishing next to objects like lay down trees in the water, or along grass bed edges, or just covering water down the bank. Really good, you know, bait for that. And it gives a little bit different look too. I mean, and another thing with tandems, guys, is you can really experiment with blade sizes, because based upon the blade size that you put on the front and the back, That has a lot to do with how much water it displaces, how much water it pushes, how high it lifts. So you can experiment a lot with that. Now, some people use a Colorado blade in front of the willow leaf on a tandem. In fact, most people do. And that's a good setup too. That catches a lot of fish. But the tandem willow, like with two willows here, this provides the ultimate flash. It just creates two different blades sort of going at different speeds, and really appealing to the fish from a visual standpoint. But that's the main thing with it. If I could just sort of give you an overview of it, guys, is just fish a single spin if you're either fishing the bait fast really along the surface or slow along the bottom. And then for all the rest of the target fishing and mid-zone fishing, go with the tandem spin. It works pretty good with that. And of course, you know, we've done a lot of spinnerbait videos. So if you go into my playlist, guys, there's a bunch of stuff about blade colors and configurations. So hope it helps you guys catch some good ones. We'll talk later.